Meantime, Democrats had the legacy media for years covering up former President Biden's mental decline and finally appearing now to come clean on it.
At least wanting to cash in with the new book here. We discuss this now. CNN's Jake Tapper, who had covered the Biden administration and appeared to defend Joe Biden's mental fitness to a guest who would have come on and hinted that the former president's decline was apparent, has a new book. The book is called Original Sin: President Biden's Decline, Its Cover-Up, and His Disastrous Choice to Run Again. Joining us now, Jennifer Nassour, former Massachusetts GOP chairwoman and Republican strategist, and Laura Curran, the former Nassau County, New York executive. So welcome to you both, and thanks so much for coming on. Wow, interesting. I guess now we can talk. Good morning to you. Now we can talk about President Biden's mental acuteness, and we can write a book about it. Jennifer Nassour, why didn't that happen in real time on some of these networks?
You know, it's amazing. It's amazing that everyone was covering it up. And when you read excerpts from this book that have been, brought out to light before its release date in May, you see Jake Tapper says when he saw them on stage together at the one and only debate, that what you saw with Joe Biden was not an anomaly, that was going on every single day. So, by the way, no one would want to read a book about Joe Biden at all unless it's talking about what we all know and what we saw. He was able to campaign in 2020 from his basement. He never needed to go out. He used the pandemic to be able to hide himself and to hide his actions. And everyone around him is actually culpable for the loss of the Democratic Party and for the Democratic Party going in the way that it did this election cycle, because they allowed Joe Biden to continue to run when they knew he was unfit to be president, let alone to run for office and run for president again.
And then ultimately installing someone who garnered no votes, Kamala Harris, which again lost to President Trump, going down memory lane. But getting back to the book, Laura, before we do, I wanted you to take a look at this exchange this was Laura Trump 4 years ago, showing Jake Tapper poking fun at, or rather pushing back at poking fun at Joe Biden's stutter and outraged about calling out cognitive decline. Watch this.
Every time he comes on stage or they turn to him, I'm like, Joe, can you get it out? Let's get the words out, Joe. You kind of feel bad for him.
How do you think it makes little kids with stutters feel when they see you make a comment like that? I think you were mocking his stutter, and I think you have absolutely no standing to diagnose somebody's cognitive decline. I would think that somebody in the Trump family would be more sensitive to people who do not have medical licenses diagnosing politicians from afar.
Now, Laura, take this into account. This is just one instance, obviously, but take into account the name of this book is Original Sin: President Biden's Decline, Its Cover-Up, and Disastrous Choice to Run Again. One of the authors is that man on the screen, Jake Tapper. Please explain that one to me, Laura.
Well, one thing, I can't explain that, but I can say that he was one of the co-anchors for the debate in June of 2024 against Donald Trump, between Biden and Trump, where everyone saw what everyone already saw. And there was a debate within the Democratic Party, and those who spoke out and said, this guy, our president, might just be a one-termer. Maybe that's a good thing, a transitional president. Those people were attacked, where they were told, no, you can't say that. But I think we all saw it. We all saw what we saw in June, and in fact, this sort of, I don't want to call it a conversion. I want to, obviously this is a journalist who did a lot of reporting with another journalist and found a lot of facts that he's now sharing. If anything, I think that makes it an even more interesting read.
Oh boy, I think, what was Jake Tapper doing when we saw President Biden calling out to a dead woman? I mean, really, where were you? There were signs along the way when he's just forgetting names of people. He's struggling to make it through his speech. He's reading pause off the teleprompter.
Well, being a part of the cover-up and then writing a book on the cover-up and now making profit from it. I mean, it's wild.
Yikes. All right, ladies, thanks so much for sharing your opinions. Appreciate it. Jennifer and Laura, have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thanks.